You're profitable, maybe more profitable than you've ever been. And by every number on your P&L, you should feel like you built something. But you haven't taken a real day off in longer than you'd like to admit out loud. Not the kind where you just hide away and your phone stays in the other room. I'm talking about the kind of vacation where you actually disappear and the practice doesn't even notice that you're gone. So let's run the test. If you left for 2 weeks right now, no calls, no check-ins, phone off, what would actually still be standing when you got back? For most of you listening, the honest answer is not much. Production drops the day that you aren't in the treatment room. Decisions start to stall because nobody was ever allowed to make them without you. And the team starts texting you about things they should never have had to ask permission for in the first place. Now, this is not a marketing problem. This is not a hiring problem. That is the trap. And if you're listening to this, you may already be in it. Welcome to Kairos Conversations. This is a space for clinicians, leaders, and operators who are building in the aesthetic medicine space with intention. We take the data, the experience, and the real-world challenges of this industry and turn them into clarity you can actually use. I'm Taylor Siemens, nurse practitioner, operator, and founder of Kairos. I know that in this field, it's not just about what you do. It's about when you do it and how you lead through it. Let's dive in. I built Kairos Aesthetic Training because I've watched this exact trap take down some of the sharpest operators I know. Not because they were bad at business, but because they were so good at the clinical work that nobody around them ever had to get good at running the practice. See, that's the part that no one tells you about when you open your doors. That skill that makes you a great injector, a wonderful clinician, a great owner in the early days, it is the same skill that quietly builds this cage around you later. And here's the argument that I wanted to make today, and I'll make it precisely, okay? Most of you didn't build a business. You built a job with overhead. And I don't say that to be an insult. I say it to be what it is, a description, okay? A business runs without you in the room. In a job with overhead, it can be profitable. It can look like a business on paper. It has a team, it has a brand, but it still requires you specifically and physically every single day or it stalls. You're not in the trap because you're undisciplined or unambitious. It's quite the opposite, actually. You are in the trap because you were excellent at the one thing that mattered most when you started, patient care. And excellence, well, it has a cost that nobody warns you about. When you're the best person in the room at something, the room stops producing anyone else who can do it. I want to give you a way to actually see this in your own practice today, not just like listen to this and nod along. Okay. What I have found is there are 3 tells. And if any of these are true for you right now, you're in the trap. And naming it is the first move because you cannot fix what you haven't named. The first tell, well, it's pretty simple. If you disappeared for 2 weeks, what actually stops? Not slows down, what stops? Think about just last week. One of your providers called in sick and you picked up her patients. A vendor issue came in and it landed on your desk instead of your op managers because that's just faster, right? Maybe a pricing question came up at the front desk and instead of letting your team make the call, you got pulled out of a room to answer it. None of those things happened because only you could do them. They happened because no one else was ever given the authority or has had the practice to do them instead. And that's a single point of failure. And right now, in your aesthetics practice, the point of failure could be you. The second tell, your team's growth is capped by how much you're willing to let go of, not what they're capable of. You have an operations manager, a practice manager, or a clinical lead who is sharper than you give her credit for because you've never actually handed her something hard enough to prove it. You tell yourself she has a full plate already. So you absorb that next problem yourself instead of giving it to her. I know you feel like you're protecting her, but you're not. You're capping her. And you're capping your practice's growth at the exact same time because her capacity and your practice's capacity, they're the same. The third tell is the one that makes this dangerous instead of just inconvenient. It's a loop and it tightens. Your continued involvement prevents your team from developing the judgment to operate without you. Their lack of developed judgment requires your continued and constant involvement. The longer you're in the trap, the more evidence that you collect that you can't leave it. And that evidence is the trap, it's reinforcing itself. This is why a practice that's 2 years old and a practice that's, I don't know, 6 years old can have the exact same problem at the exact same severity. Time doesn't fix this, and revenue surely doesn't fix this. More hours don't fix this. Without intervention, the loop just keeps running and getting tighter. Here's what I need you to drop a word from your vocabulary, just for now, okay? Mindset. You don't have a mindset problem, you have a design problem. And your practice was never architectured to run without you. Nobody sat down on day one, and built the systems, the authority, the decision rights for anyone else to operate it. That's not a character flaw. It's just what happens when you're moving fast and you're the only person in the room who knows what good looks like. See, a mindset is hard to fix, but a design is not. That's the distinction that I built this entire episode and the show actually on. Before I opened Kairos, I made a deliberate decision not to build it this way. I'd spent years watching this exact pattern play out in other practices, and I was not willing to repeat it in mine. The decision and exactly how I executed on it is a longer story, and I'm going to tell it properly in the next episode. But for now, the only thing that matters is this: Kairos was showing profit inside 8 months. It's not a coincidence. That's what happens when the design is right. Here's what I want from you this week: not a mindset shift, an action. For the next 7 days, every single time something lands on your desk that isn't worth at least $30,000 to your business, write it down. Don't fix it just yet. Fight that instinct to just grab it and solve it. Just notice it. Write it down on a single running list. And at the end of the week, look at that list. That is your single point of failure in your own handwriting. You guys, that's the trap. It's mapped out in real decisions from a real week in your practice. Next episode, I'm going to tell you exactly how I designed Kairos Aesthetic Medicine to keep that list short from day one, and what I do every single day to keep my name off of it. For now, you go make the list. You can't redesign what you haven't yet written down. If this conversation helped you think differently about your practice, share it with someone else who's building with intention. And if you're ready to go deeper, you'll find more resources, training, and tools inside Kairos Aesthetic Training. Until next time, I'm Taylor Siemens. Stay curious, take action, and trust the timing of your growth.